Hi everyone, it's Andrew Bryanton back here, and today I'm going to get into, can we make it as a full-time teacher at VIPKID? So I'm going to go into just 3 topics today, but I think they will help you in terms of making that decision. And this is a personal decision. I'm not going to make it for you. I'm just giving you my story and what I'm observing. That's it. You make the call for you. I'm not going to get in the one that's going to get in trouble for you. You make that decision. So I'm going to go into first thing, income. What I need in terms of income, you make your own conclusion. My story, I'll get into, and I'm only a month in here. So I'm only a little over a month in, but I'm already starting to see good movement and a trend forming. And I'll talk to as well, just being male and not having a teaching degree, which for me, that is reality. But I'll also talk to just what I see in terms of if you are female and not having a teaching degree, and just touch on that as well, just to give you an idea of what to expect maybe. And I might be off, but I'm just giving you my vantage point. And starting off, let's get into income. So that's the key thing. And let's bring up the old trusty whiteboard. And for me, I need to get to roughly $40,000 Canadian. I am a Canuck, so I'm talking Canadian dollars, but also work on US stuff for my people that are watching from the US as well. So for me, I started with this number, roughly 40,000, and worked backwards, and then also brought in realities of teaching, that the days are different because Friday and Saturday you're doing a lot of your business, like almost 50% sometimes, because you're getting double booked. You're getting your morning and your evening because, of course, that works over with their weekend. So for me, the way I did it is I said I can do no problem, and I'm almost there right now, 10 classes on each of those days. That should be no problem. The bookings are there. The trend's there. I can still get 7 hours sleep in. I can do that. So I started with that and said, okay, well, that's 20. Now I need 35 with the other 5 days. So that works out to roughly 7 a weekday. And now that is very doable. You have those hours from roughly that 6 to 9 period, which will pretty much give you what you need for that 7 classes. And those are sort of the peak time periods. Now I have classes sometimes starting at 4 my time. I am on the Atlantic side, so Eastern, I'm actually, for anyone that's in the eastern side, I'm actually an hour ahead of you. So that isn't, things are not quite as early for me as they would be for you. But that's just to give you an idea of, I think that's doable. I think I hear some people doing 10 on weekdays. Now, I don't know, that would be very difficult, but it's probably doable once you get enough following where people are having to take those undesirable spots. So 7 is doable though, because that's there after school. It's sometimes before supper for them or after, depending on when they eat. But that's doable. So I'm starting with 55. That should be doable. I think in a couple of months I'm going to exceed that. I think I will. I hope I will. So the average class amount in US dollars that you should be getting is roughly $10.50. So I'm on an $8 per hour US rate, and I know some people are maybe $7.50 or they're $9 at the top rate, but I'm at $8. I'm right in the middle. I think most people are in that boat. So plus you get your dollar for finishing the class, plus you get your dollar if you do 45 classes or more during the month. So that's where I'm at. Where did I get the other 50 cents from? Well, I'm saying I'm going to have some last minute classes, so there's an extra 2 for some classes. I'm going to have some trial conversions. There's another 5. So I think I'm being probably conservative with 10.50, but I'd rather err on being conservative. I'm also not using any referrals, and I don't really plan to go that route as much. But that's $100 every time you get a referral in. But I'm just using bare bones, trying to be conservative in terms of my estimates. So of course, 52 weeks, I can travel, whatever, and take it on with me. So maybe I only do 50 weeks, but whatever. Let's go with 52 and work at it. So that comes out to 39,000 Canadian or roughly 30,000 US. That's where I'm trying to get to. I don't know, your numbers may be different, but that's where I'm trying to get to. So, can we get there? Here is now my story and what things have happened for me. So, month number 1, which was November 11th, Remembrance Day, is when I started. And that month, I had a whopping 29 classes. I didn't even hit the minimum threshold for 50 cents. I was one off. I was heartbroken. But that's okay. But I started seeing trends even before that, leading a couple weeks out. So that was keeping me hopeful and, keeping the carrot in front of me, keeping me going. So, and just to give you an idea, that November, like I opened up slots everywhere. Like I was just, you're willing to go in my class, I'll teach any time of day, more or less. So I was trying. It takes time because you got to get in the system. The frenzy stuff is 2 weeks in advance. I started on a Monday, so I missed the first frenzy. So that didn't help. That slowed things down. And I wasn't really retaining people because I felt, at least my IT stuff was at a loss. And I'm not just saying that. That's probably reality because I'll tell you how things are going now. And that things are starting to work. I made other tweaks too, but so that was last month. That was November. December, I'm on pace for right now because I can already see a couple weeks out here. At least I can start to see things booking and moving in the right direction. I'm on pace for 120 classes for the month of December. And honestly, I think I'm going to beat that because I'm not factoring in the Christmas rush. I'm not factoring in that teachers are going to take time off and I'm going to pick up students. That's just a reality. It is. It's going to happen. So I think I'm being modest at 120. I'm trying to hit 129. I'm trying to go from 29 to 129 in 1 month. And you can look at my 15 tips. I'm not smart. I'm doing things, little things. I'm doing a lot of things right, I think. Anyway, so far. I'm getting lucky too, I'm sure, at the same time. But that's where I'm at. That's my story. I'm projecting now into January, even with the Chinese New Year, I'm going to try and hit 150. Now, I need to get to, if you multiply 55 by 4 weeks, roughly in that month, I need to get to 220. So I'm not there yet, but the trend is your friend. And it's going in the right direction, and I can see myself hitting that by March. That is my goal. I'm trying to hit that 220 by March. Hell or high water, we're going to do it. So, and we're going to get sleep at the same time. So, that's my story. That's where I'm going to. Now, let's get into a little granular, into the details a little bit more, and talk to being male and no teaching degree. And I'll also talk on the female side as well. But being male is one huge advantage. And that's not a sexist comment. That is reality. And the reason why is because there are not many male teachers. How do I know that? Because I go to workshops and I look at the names and all I see is females. There are literally, I have not been to a workshop, and I'm talking workshops of close to 100 people where there's been any more than 5 guys. Maybe guys don't attend workshops, but I doubt it. So I'm thinking 10-15% of the teachers are male. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, and I think I'm high on that. So think about it this way, and I'll talk to this on, I get mostly male students. So what does that tell you? That tells you there are a lot of parents that want their boy being taught by a male. And I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong, but I look at myself as a parent, and I have a son, and that's what I would want personally. I would want, and I'm not slighting women. I'm not. The same as I would want my girl, which I've got a girl as well. I would want her in a girls' class. It's just the way I would be as a parent also. And I even put in my profile, I want to be a role model for whoever. And as being a parent as well, I would want that for my son. I would want a female or male role model, but I would want maybe a male to teach just because he's a male. Just the same as I would want a female to teach my daughter, just because there's a little more of a connection there. That's it. There's nothing sexist. That's just how I view it. And obviously that's how a lot of Chinese parents view it, because I'm getting 90% of my students are male. So, and I look at it in terms of the student body that are out there. I think there's like 600,000 students. I bet you half of them are male. So do the math on that. We've got like 300,000 students, and we don't have that many male teachers. So I could be the biggest dud out there, and I'm still going to get lucky with classes just because there aren't as many male. So that's one thing. Males better have proper English. That is one thing that's going for me, that I've got. I'm not doing anything. It's just the luck of the draw, basically. And I don't have a teaching degree. I do not have a teaching degree. If I did not, and I don't have a teaching degree, and I were female, that would be so tough to make this work as full-time. It really would, because the competition, there's just so many females doing it, and a lot of them have teaching degrees, and how are you going to stick out? It's not to say you can't, it's just you're facing a headwind that I am not. That's all I'm saying with that part. So keep that in mind in your decision. And if you're good at it, whether you have a teaching degree or not, I think you can make it work, but it's going to take a lot longer, because you're going to take a lot longer to get noticed and get students, and it's just the runway to get up and sort of full time is just going to take a lot longer, and that's just a reality in my opinion anyways. So that's sort of the dynamics that I'm seeing anyways out there in terms of where things are at. Look at my tips at what I've done. I'm honestly, I'm not that smart of a person. Just look at my tips. They're simple stuff. They're simple solutions. What I tell people is that I'm doing a lot of small things right. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm seeing the good ramp up. I'm retaining right now minimum 75% of my students that I'm getting in. And like I said, I'm not doing anything else than what I'm telling you in my tips. I'm just doing a lot of small things well. I'm likable, I think, for most people. A lot of people probably don't like me, but whatever. I'm likable, and that's one thing that I'll say to teachers is you need to be likable. You need to do your job. You need to tell them when they're wrong, but you need to be likable. You need to be personable. That's a big part of life in general about being good at a job, is that you need to be likable. And it's magnified, I think, in this realm of a position. So, and me personally, you may not believe it, but I'm an introvert. I'm shy. But I can check that at the door. You can't, I'm not an imposter or anything. It's just, I know I can be an extrovert at the same time. I think I'm relatively gifted that way to be able to do that. And I'm not trying to put on a facade. It's just who I am. I can sort of be a little bit of both. And you can't be that shy, please listen to me in class. You need to be that charismatic, energetic person. And that's a big part of picking up students is just doing that and caring and being genuine with students. That's really a big part of it. It's not rocket science. It's just being someone that they will admire. That's what it comes down to. If you can do that, you're going to retain the students. And that's why I'm projecting things out the way I am, is because I can see it. I can see the trend that's taking place. The trend is your friend, and it's going in the right direction. And if you can retain even 50% of the students that you get, it's frenzy day here in 5 hours, and there's going to be lots of new students. So if you're able to retain 50% and you're picking up the same amount of new students, you can see the writing on the wall. As long as you keep doing a good job and you aren't coasting, the trend will get you to where you need to get to. And as long as your IT and everything holds out, and yes, you're going to have some bad feedback. I've been fortunate so far that I've had 5 feedbacks, and they've all been 5, which great, that's good. And that's sort of the snowball effect that takes place, is that now you start getting reviews, your schedule starts getting scarce. Scarcity is your friend. So when parents see that you're getting picked over, they see it in my profile, I'm full-time, I'm putting the time and energy into this, they're picking things up like nothing, because they know that things are going to move fast. And you start seeing your schedule get picked up, and it's just like you go to the supermarket or whatever and you see there's one left. Well, you're more likely to get it. And it's the same thing that will happen here, that things will compound in the right direction. They could compound in the opposite direction, but for me so far, at least I've been lucky, they're compounding in a snowballing good direction. So I'll leave that with you and make up your own decision, of course, in terms of this. I'm not saying go full time or anything like that. I'm just sort of giving you my story, where things are at. I am sort of all in trying to make this work full time. So I've had the time and energy, thankfully, to be able to do that. So that's where things are at. I'll keep you up to date, at least on where things are going for me, and give you sort of my final numbers once we get into the end of December. And hopefully I'm at sort of that 129 goal that I've unofficially put. But that's where things are at. And best of luck in your teaching. And give me some comments on just where things are at with you, or thumbs up or thumbs down, and some topics maybe for videos. But thank you very much, and all the best in your teaching. And the frenzy that is up in 5 hours, I love it. It's like Christmas, waking up on Monday and seeing your schedule, maybe full or not full or whatever. But that's sort of the joy of teaching with VIPKID. All the best. Bye.